everybody, this is Christa with the Big Family Homestead, and I know you guys have been watching and enjoying Brad's crazy freeze drying videos. Well, today I'm going to show you how I freeze dry hash browns. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a rough instructions on how to get the freeze dryer started. There's a lot of things that you can do. There's so many things that you can freeze dry. I mean, we have freeze dried raw eggs, milk, ground beef, cheese, so many things. So we in Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, we don't have a very long growing season. So we are unable to grow everything that we eat. So we have found a local Mennonite grocery store that sells a lot of discounted groceries. It's called Cloverdale. It is a fantastic store. So if you're anywhere in central Wisconsin, check out Cloverdale. They're not paying me to say this. I just love the place. Central Wisconsin, it's in Colby, Wisconsin. So they sell a lot of things discounted, bulk things discounted. So we have found lots of big 5-pound bags of cheese for less than $10, and we will freeze dry the whole bag. I found a great deal on hash browns. It was, I think it might be a 3-pound bag. I didn't exactly weigh it. I can't remember, but it was $3. So that for me is a huge deal because it's already shredded. All I have to do is freeze dry it. And I'm glitching because I'm just so excited. I can't wait to show you this. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and start with the freeze dryer. All you have to do is basically there's a customization button. You can take it, your initial freeze, you can set that for different temperatures. Our extra dry time, I always set that for 12 hours for just in case it is not quite done at that time and it just goes for that extra 12 hours. It's not using up a ton of energy after that. It's just, I know that extra 12 hours is just done. And then your dry temperature. So when it is frozen and it is starting to freeze dry, it comes up to that temperature in there slowly. And as that food in there begins to thaw, that vacuum will pull that moisture out and then it'll reach that 125-degree temperature. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And then we're just going to go ahead and hit start. We're going to close the door here. This needs to initialize and start the freezing process. And it takes about 15 minutes. So while this is doing its initial freezing, we're going to go ahead and load our trays up. But what's funny is I left the trays in there. So I have to take the trays out first before I load them up, right? So here we go. So I weighed the bags. They are 3-pound bags. So that's $1 a pound, which I know that's a lot for potatoes. We've been able to get potatoes, whole potatoes for 99 cents for a 5-pound bag. Yeah, that's a screaming deal. Not everywhere is that case. But these are already shredded and they're already frozen. So I did let them sit out for a little bit just so that it would soften up. So that it's easier to spread them out on the tray. So here we go. I'm just going to open these up. I've got my trays set out. I've got them all close together so that I can just kind of dump it on there and then spread them out. So just check this out. I will break up the big chunks and kind of just spread them out to where it's not a super thin layer, but not super thick either. I usually try and make it to where it's about the top of the tray. But then no pockets. Like I like to have it nice and thick. Hence why we have the extra 12 hours on our time. I want to make sure that everything is freeze dried properly. A good shake here. All right, these are ready to go in the freeze dryer. Now with the rest of these, I'm actually going to go ahead and get the lids that we have up on top of the freeze dryer, and I'm going to put the rest of these in the lids because you can use the lids to freeze dry in. So that way you can get them frozen in the freezer while these are in the freeze dryer. So you're not wasting any time. If you buy a big amount of whatever, your potatoes, your cheese, your whatever, you can kind of double your efforts. So this is really cool. So I'm going to get these in the freeze dryer, put these on their trays, and put them in the freezer. We'll get right back to you. All right, so I've got our trays loaded up. I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the freezer. Yeah, I just kind of stuck them on top of each other. You can put parchment between them just so that the potatoes don't stick to the other lid, but I just pick them off. It takes all of a few seconds. But we'll stick these in the freezer, and then when this is done, these will go in, and we won't have to waste any time with defrosting the machine or anything like that. I do, however, I'm going to set this down. When the ice gets thick around the sides, I do defrost it then. I don't defrost between every cycle just because that does use extra energy to heat up, melt the ice, and then you have to start it again and refreeze it. It's just, I think it's just kind of a waste of time. And on the machine, it's hard work on the machine. So, so yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get this going here in a few seconds. There we go. So you can see it says load food into the freeze dryer, which we've already done. We've closed the valve. Now we're just going to hit continue, and it's going to freeze, which it's already frozen anyway. So it won't take nearly as much time to get down to freezing as it normally would. Pre-freezing the food actually saves on the machine, the wear and tear on the machine. So this is a benefit for it. So, we'll be back as soon as it's done. It takes about 24 to 36 hours. So when it's done, I'll show you what the result is. All right, so I have them in the freeze dryer here, and while this has got about 3.5 minutes left, I'm going to go ahead and open this door. And what I like to do is pull this seal out, just like this, just a little bit. Because then it when I close the door is what pushes that seal back so that it's a good contact there. See there, it's all the way around. You can see that you can see that the rubber gasket is all the way around, pressing up against this door. So then what we'll do is over on this side over here, I'm just going to carefully pick this up and show you down here. This right here, I hope you can see that. Yeah, it looks like it. Right here, we're just going to go ahead and close that just so that we don't forget. So we're going to go ahead and wait our 2.5 minutes left here, and we'll go ahead and hit that. The continue button is what shows up. All right, so it's in its drying process. It's been going for, you can see here, 7 hours and 13 minutes. It's been drying for 3 hours and 7 minutes. So we want this number, this MT number, to be below 500, and the temperature will be around 120 something when it's done. So there goes, it went below 500. So it'll continue to drop, and this will continue to go until this red bar, this progress bar, gets to the end, and then it does the 12 hours extra drying time. Still going. Okay, our process is complete. We're going to go ahead and release the pressure. We're not going to mess with any of these buttons just yet, because I want to make sure that this is dried completely. So we're going to release the pressure down here. Making sure. Making sure that there's no water in our bucket, which there was at that moment. I completely forgot about that. My bad. That mistakes happen. This is real life, folks. So we're going to go ahead and open this door. Let me go ahead and put the phone on the tripod, and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to open up this door here. We're going to check this out. Look there. Our hash brown potatoes. Look at that. These are nice and crispy. We're gonna store these into a Mylar bag and a glass mason jar. So one will be for putting away for the future, and the other one will be for daily use, you know, that kind of thing. So we'll show you how we bag this up, or jar this up, I could say. Give me just 1 second. All right, so we got a kind of a strange angle going here, but I wanted to show you these Mylar bags. These are gallon-sized Mylar bags. These, I love these. These are the perfect size to put the trays straight into. So look at this. We're just going to put that in there just like that. And then very carefully, I'm going to hold the silicone mat that's underneath the hash browns and gently just drop those straight in there. Then there's no breakage. I don't have to mess with them. They're done. 2 trays of hash browns or cheese or whatever fit into these gallon-sized bags. And I can do the same thing. I have to be a little more careful because I can't put the tray all the way in, but that's why I have the other tray underneath it in case I spill. And then there's treats on the ground for the dog. Ah! Come on now. There we go. All that powder in there, that's perfect. All right. Get all these ones that fell. There we go. See this? This is perfect. Perfectly freeze-dried hash brown potatoes. Now, I'm going to get the other 2 trays, and we're going to put some in this mason jar, probably 2 mason jars full. But then we'll seal this. We'll put an oxygen absorber in this, and we'll seal it with our Mylar bag sealer. You can see here how small these are, and they're super crisp. They just break right apart. They're so great. So great. I'm going to just eat one. Oh, yummy. I know, it's weird. It's a potato. It's plain. There's no salt, nothing. But it's a potato. So, now for the jar, I'm going to put these in a big bowl and very carefully transfer them to a jar. Now, if I had a bigger funnel, which actually I do, I could probably use my milking funnel. I'm going to grab it. I'll be right back. Here it is. This is a great big funnel. We use this for filtering our milk. It does not, however, fit inside the mouth of a mason jar, but it will, like this, carefully. Actually, I have a stainless steel funnel. I'm going to go grab that. Here it is. So, we're just going to set that in there like that. Put that in there. I think this is going to work out perfectly. Look at this. Yep. Yes. What a win. Awesome. Let's put that here. Ooh, loud clanging. I think we can get both trays in this ½ gallon jar. Yep. We're going to do that. Perfect. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to move this over here. It got a little clogged, so we'll carefully shake those in there. Oh, look at that. Beauty. Look at that. That is... So I freeze-dried 4.5 pounds, or was it 4? Yeah, 4.5 pounds of hash brown potatoes. We got gallon-sized Mylar bag, ½ gallon jar of hash brown potatoes. Now this one's going to go away into our storage closet with my oxygen absorber. This one's going to get an oxygen absorber and vacuum sealed. And we'll use this and a video coming out later this week. I can't wait to show you what I'm going to make. It looks like it's going to be super, super delicious. So here we go with our oxygen absorbers. I've told you before, I keep the extra ones in a mason jar because I don't have to reseal the bag. It's so much easier. And then all I have to do is reseal the jar. No waste. I hate wasting those plastic bags. So we got our vacuum seal, mason jar vacuum sealer. It has regular mouth and wide mouth for those of you who have not seen it. Press that down on there. Give it a power, press on that power button. Press down on the mason jar. Sorry, you're not seeing it. So it's going to go for about 30 seconds. And then this will be sealed. And then we'll vacuum seal our potatoes. 20. Almost there. I'm not the singer, Brad is. All right, 30 seconds. Press the power button again. Pop that off. That is sealed. Okay. I tend to just put the ring on there just for what if. Hopefully it never has an issue, but I just like to be safe than better safe than sorry. So I've got another lid here. We're going to pop that. I'm going to wipe off this rim here. Make sure there's no potato dust on it. And you can reuse older lids, as long as they're not rusty or corroded or anything like that. All right, so I'm going to give it a press, power button. Let this go for about 30 seconds, and then it will be sealed. We've got our oxygen absorber in there in case it ever pops that seal, but I have yet to have one of these pop their seal. Now, with this one here, set that off to the side. This one here, so my, let me let this finish because it's kind of loud. Alrighty, there we go. That's done. We'll put our lid on there and I will mark that later on. So, now our Mylar bag sealer is not quite the same length as our bags, and that's completely okay. So what I like to do is I will seal one side and then I will shake this flat so that it will sit flat on the shelf. So I just take this and I kind of pull it to where it is. I hope you can see this. Yep. I pull it to where it is laying flat and there's no creases. And I go close to the end so that I can reuse this bag later on. Because Mylar bags are not cheap. Well, they're cheaper now than they used to be. All right, so there's one side. You can see that. Now, I'm going to shake this flat, just like so. It's a little bit flatter. And kind of press the air out without crushing the potatoes that are inside. Oh, I gotta flip it over. There we go. All right, make sure there's no crease here either. See there, it's flat. And then make sure that you're gonna line this up to where it's gonna cross that other seam. There we go. Just like so. See there? All sealed. Shake her upside down. We're done. And Bob's your uncle, right? I don't know what that means. I've heard that saying so many times. But, so this will get labeled freeze-dried hash brown potatoes and today's date and how many pounds it was when it was before I freeze-dried it. That way then I know how many pounds this was. So if I did 4.5 pounds, this will be 2.25 pounds of pre-freeze-dried hash brown potatoes. So there's so many things that you can do with these, with hash brown potatoes. This coming week, I'm going to show you a really cool recipe that I am actually I'm actually creating it. I didn't look online. I'm actually going to create it this week and see how it works. And then I'll show you guys the end result. I'll show you how to do it and the end result. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. It truly helps our family out. I'm Christa with the Big Family Homestead, and you have a blessed and amazing day.